a new earth is here. It's time to choose your adventure. You clicked on this video because your heart has been telling you that it's time for more. You know there's a better way. You have to stop living the way you've been living. But you also know that you can't force it. What if there's a new path that's being made available to you right now? That the universe is conspiring in your favor. Because by using True Sky Astrology, you're making 3D world changes because you are choosing 3D astronomy. So 3D world actions get 3D world results. We are standing at a very rare threshold with the new moon in Sagittarius, and all of our personal planets are gathering together and passing through Ophiuchus one by one and being reborn. Mercury will finally be clearing his retrograde shadow. And even the cosmos itself is giving you a bullet point to let you know that something is up and it's time to watch the skies. Hi, I'm Beth Hansen, true Sidereal astrologer, and I use the 13 constellations in their true size and placement. This is sacred geometry in action. The universe is saying, don't just dream it, do it. Over the next week, you will be prodded to take action, to change your direction, choices to change your confidence, and being given the freedom to change your future. And I've been at this crossroad myself, and I'm here with this one as well. And I have learned when the sky shows up like this, the stars and the planets making these close connections and alignments, backing off costs you way more than stepping forward. And since you're already here, we might as well get into it. So stay with me because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where to take your next step. And to help you along the way, I have a little bit of a compass for you. It's called Unlock the New Zodiac, a free PDF that you can download. Just click the link below and grab that free PDF, and that can be your guide. And give me a thumbs up if you're ready for a new adventure. So this is not just another week in the sky. This is Mars and Venus conjunct with the sun. And then the moon's gonna roll in and perfect at the new moon. Sagittarius, the beginning of Sagittarius and the end of Ophiuchus the transformation is happening at the end of Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, and the beginning of Sagittarius, the optimist, the luck bringer, and the philosopher and storyteller. And when Mercury leaves its shadow of the retrograde and starts moving beyond that point, that's when clarity returns and those decisions start to stick. And both the 18th and the 19th bring rebirth through the galactic center. First the sun, followed shortly thereafter by the moon. And then there's a reason I've got my candles lit. It's because the winter solstice, where I live, is happening. If you are down under or in the southern part of the Americas, then you are experiencing your summer solstice on the 21st because it's all happening at once. And we have a different perspective on what brings the light and what is the longest night. So I'm so glad you're here because you're, number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not late. You're right on time. This is the sky saying, choose the path and the path will rise up to meet you. This is the time when a new earth is born, individually in all of us. We start the week with Sun and Venus in Ophiuchus. By the end of the week, Sun and Moon will be completing their journey through Ophiuchus and joining together in Sagittarius. Last week we had Mars lead the charge into Sagittarius. He was already reborn. This is a beautiful time of our lifetimes. This is a super rare occurrence where all of our personal planets are being reborn over the next few weeks. And in doing so, a new earth can be reborn when we connect consciously, when we decide to live our life with purpose. By December 21st, which is the solstice in December, winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, and summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, that's when things will begin to shift. But not before December 22nd comes around, because that's when Venus charts her course. Monday, we have Sun and Venus in Ophiuchus, Mercury in Scorpio, Mars in Sagittarius. The balsamic moon is in Virgo, and the grand trine is a-flowin'. From Black Moon Lilith in Libra to Jupiter in Gemini to Saturn in Pisces. And meanwhile, the Sun and Mars are squared up and ready to go because they are challenging Pisces energy with Saturn and Neptune. And this is a time of choices on Monday. With the Virgo moon and with these choices being made on a personal level in both Sagittarius and Ophiuchus, we're talking about soul and action coming together for spirit, because that's what's going on. We are building a new world based on spirit and intuition during these transits through Pisces, these long transits, which I have already gone through the Saturn transit in another video. But here we are moving on to Tuesday, and this balsamic moon is now in Libra, joining our friend and joining in a trine to Jupiter. Not joining the grand trine that Black Moon Lilith has, but there's no more square to Pluto. And this trine to Jupiter in Gemini is bringing a sense of joy to all of us. Okay. So Tuesday is a time where we continue to have those challenges, and the sun is getting ready for its rebirth in the galactic center. It's at 10 degrees of Ophiuchus. The galactic center is at 12 degrees. It is considered an impactful aspect that it offers us. So at the same time, we do have some beautiful trines going on with our Sun and Venus and Chiron, bringing in that healing energy. Now, as we move into Wednesday, this is when the super psychic downloads begin. As you can see, there's some intense increase in the trines to our spiritual brethren, our outliers, our teachers out in Pisces. Saturn and Neptune are connecting to both Moon and Black Moon Lilith in trine in Libra. And at the same time, Mercury is at 5 degrees of Scorpio. It is now getting to the point where it is out of its shadow and moving into a place of power of choice, because it is creating a T-square. It's what's called in the bends, or at the midpoint between the North Node and South Node. Our North Node, Rahu, the head of the dragon, Caput Draconis, in Aquarius, guiding the people to devour, basically, and take charge and be the head of the dragon when it comes to community, when it comes to innovation in community, when it comes to supporting individuality in community. We are talking about real power in our collective dialogue, and that's happening in deep Scorpio, right smack in the middle of Scorpio, and really getting into the depths of things. Then Thursday, we have some wonderful things with that. The sun being conjunct, going through the galactic center, that galactic birth canal, and the balsamic moon is still in Libra, still connecting via trine, and now it also is T-square the lunar nodes. This is a powerful, powerful moment because it's bringing things up and bringing things back into balance through that Libra energy as its final pass, well, the last day before the new moon hits on December 19th. So the sun is being reborn and the moon is coming hard on its heels and will be moving quickly to get into formation of the new moon in Sagittarius that's coming on the 19th. Our squares are super active. We've got, now that we're coming into Friday, we've got the new moon, 1 degree of Sagittarius. You can see there, everything, because of the time of day, it shifted to the bottom of the screen, in the bottom corner here. And with that happening, that is adding to that moon to the square to, like I said, these downloads will continue to happen because it is also conjunct Venus and Mars in Venus in Ophiuchus and Mars in Sagittarius. Lilith lets go of Jupiter and Saturn and is now trying Neptune in Pisces and opposes Uranus in Taurus. Jupiter in Gemini is trying Saturn in Pisces and square Chiron in Pisces. That is one of the beautiful things about true sidereal astrology, is that these aspects that normally would be out of sign are not, because of the strength and breadth and depth of Pisces on the ecliptic. This is saying, yeah, spirituality is super important. Creativity, intuition, all of those are from the realm of Pisces. And that is what is challenging us individually as all this goes through the galactic center and will continue to challenge us until getting closer to the full moon, new moon. There's going to be lots of challenges going on for the next couple weeks, but then there's going to be a beautiful flow. So Saturday, Sun, Mars, and Moon are all in alchemy, in fiery alchemy in Sagittarius. And alchemy means transformation. Sagittarius is about, Sagittarius, optimistic. It is about growth and seeking new ideas, new philosophies, and challenging what is going to be the best spiritual path going forward. That's part of that spiritual challenge that is super direct, and we're being asked to make those choices. So with the Mercury push and pull with the nodes still happening in Scorpio, this is moving the dialogue forward now because Mercury is 10 degrees of Scorpio. It is moving closer to its journey through Ophiuchus and healing, but it's making some really strong pushes and pulls. And so there's a lot more in our fire signs right now with Mars, Moon, and Sun in this alchemical, mutable fire of Sagittarius, and pointing us and asking us to choose what direction. And Sunday, this is the witchcraft of the winter solstice in the north, or the summer solstice in the south, because Black Moon Lilith is both T-square with the nodes so community, karma, and chaos start early today as the dark goddess stirs things up in her cauldron. Long-term retrogrades continue. Uranus is retrograde. Chiron is retrograde, and T-square, the waxing crescent moon, and Jupiter in Gemini. So the waxing crescent moon here is still in Sagittarius because it's a little bit of a longer sign. And as we move forward, just think of what fires are you going to light? How are you going to shift and change your philosophy, your spirituality? How are you being challenged? I just want to let you know that every great adventure starts with a fellowship. Every seeker begins under the same sky. The call of the stars whispering through the branches of night. You follow the light deeper into the forest of the unseen. And there a guide appears. A golden invitation. your entry to Zodiac Club 13, Secret Celestial Lounge, where the night hums with magic, candles flicker, stars shimmer, and your place is waiting. Welcome to the party, where mystics, dreamers, and star lovers gather to celebrate the real sky. Inside, visionaries study the cosmos, hands trace constellations as they truly are, and weave their stories through the cards of destiny. Here, wisdom flows like starlight, every spark a new awakening. You found your circle. Zodiac Club 13, the Midnight Lounge for seekers of the real sky, filled with 13 signs and timeless magic. So join me and the other player characters in Zodiac Club 13 by clicking on the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the club. Let's look at the rising constellation of when you were born, and you can get that chart below in my free chart calculator if you don't have it already. And also the moon. What constellation was the moon in when you were born? Because you might want to be listening for 2 different constellations to know how this energy is going to be rolling through those spaces this week. First, Ophiuchus. That is spirit, ether. That is the 5th element. Really powerful stuff is happening there because that is the place of rebirth. Mars was already reborn last week, and that just brings fire into fire. So, Mars is leading us into the fire of Sagittarius. All of the planets are being led. All the aspects of self are being led by the action taker and change maker. And Venus is currently in Ophiuchus and will be joining everyone in Sagittarius at the beginning of next week. And our fire signs, Aries, Leo, and of course, Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius, we've already talked about all the things that are going to be happening with you. And this is going to be a very powerful month for you. So if, like me, you have a Sagittarius rising or a Sagittarius moon, things are rolling in to you. If you had the Ophiuchus, then things are already happening and have been happening and hitting you on a very personal level. And with Leo hosting K2, the South Node, this is a time when we're really reflecting, especially Leo moons and Leo rising are reflecting on what it means to be a courageous leader in the world and to speak from authenticity rather than from a script. And while I script these things, it's just bullet points and I am riffing all the time. This is me and spirit coming together with you here and now. And Leo is teaching me to let go of the falsehoods and embrace my authenticity. And it can teach you that as well. And Aries, you're ruled by Mars, and Mars is going through your, fellow fire sign Sagittarius right now. So there is that connection there, even if there isn't a direct connection via an aspect to a planet, because there is currently none of our solar system planets are going through Aries at the minute, no matter what they say in tropical astrology. So water, our 3 water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Well, Cancer, again, you are ruled by the moon, so every move she makes, she's touching you as well. There is nothing going through that space in the sky, and you can check that through any telescope or via a planetarium software such as Stellarium, just to verify everything I'm saying. And then Scorpio, well, that's where Mercury is, and that's where it's making its shift. So we're talking about big moves and deep dives into the mysteries, and he's doing so on many, many levels. And he's going to be leaving his shadow on Wednesday. So that is the tipping point. Wednesday is the tipping point. And Pisces, well, you've got Saturn and Neptune been hanging out together for a long time. And those two are going to be united at the 11th degree in true sidereal midpoint astrology on February 20th. It's a big day, but that's a couple months away. But until then, they're just a few degrees apart. and they are the architect Saturn, getting rid of all of that, the things that are not going to hold together in the tides of Pisces. And Neptune is there to help you with your dreams, but it can occasionally warn you of possible calamity, because Neptune also rules the seas, which can be ever changing. And both of those are making squares upon everybody who is going through that transition into Sagittarius from Ophiuchus. So there's a lot going on in Pisces this week, a lot of connections being made. So air, we've got Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. In Gemini, we have Jupiter, and Jupiter is no longer holding on to a big old trine. He's just making a couple of aspects. The most notable is a square to Chiron in Pisces. So Gemini, the optimist, is seeking extra help and giving extra help to Chiron, saying, hey, let's get together and heal some things and figure out how my power and your power can work together. Because the big kahuna and little guy are getting together and trying to figure out how to do this and make it stick, because things are slippery in both Gemini and Pisces, because we're not talking about solid ground there. And then Libra, you've got Black Moon Lilith in you all week long, and I'm using the true placement of Black Moon Lilith for this, not the mean or median placement. And Rahu is in Aquarius. So our North Node, what we're wishing for, longing for, seeking to create in our lives, that is the North Node, and it is in Aquarius. So our air signs are busy, busy, busy. And there's a lot of communications happening. And then finally, the Earth signs, Taurus, you've got Uranus in you. Yes, Uranus, the signal bearer from the outer limits of the galaxy. These are the deep truths, the far-reaching insights. These are the radical ideas, the radical shifts, and the network restructuring and changing your electronic grid, your geomagnetic grid on a personal level here on Mama Earth, because Taurus is an Earth sign, and that means real world shifts and changes. This is a 3D moment. Anytime you involve an Earth sign, that is the 3D in change happening. Okay? So then, after Taurus, we're looking at Virgo. Virgo, that's where the moon is starting out. And Virgo is holding space, and the moon is moving through her as she is disseminating everything from that full moon, which was in Taurus, is being disseminated. And that moon energy and those moon whispers are coming down to Earth, and they are landing on people, places, and things in Virgo as the moon transits the first couple days of the week. And then Capricorn, Capricorn is hosting the very dramatic, very strong-willed Pluto, who is there all about holding and keeping power, and also about challenging the powers that be. So think of this whole week as your cosmic green light to make your move. Sagittarius lights the horizon. Mars provides courage. Venus ensures that you are aligning with your core values as you take that action. Mercury is clearing the cobwebs of old narratives and bringing forward new ones, and probably digging a few new mysteries out of Scorpio. And Solstice seals the intention, whether you are in the northern hemisphere like me in darkness, or in the southern hemisphere bathed in light. 3i Atlas, our interstellar visitor that came to us this past spring, is now in Leo, and it is at its closest point to the Earth on December 19th, the day of the new moon. I'm not going to drop this mic. I spent too much money on it, but boom, I have to say. That is a pretty strong message from the universe that we're supposed to keep looking up and start paying attention to what's going on. For all these things to be converging in the same place in the sky, plus Leo being activated while Three-Eye Atlas is at its closest point to Mother Earth during a new moon in Sagittarius, a fellow fire sign. Oh my goodness. You can't make this stuff up. This is really happening in the 3D world. This isn't some imaginary blanket of signs. These are the actual constellations that are singing their songs to us, and we need to pay attention. And I know you might be feeling like, whoa, that's a lot. And yeah, that's part of the thing about growth. Sometimes you get a little bit of growing pains, or you're a little scared to make that first step, that butterfly in your tummy. That's okay. As long as it's not the ick and it's the excitement, then you know that is the way to go. New paths will trigger your old fears, and those old patterns that resurface and want to drag you back, you have to give them a firm and hard no and say, no, we are moving forward in spirit here. We are being guided by the rebirth through our highest self in Ophiuchus, piece by piece over the coming week. Just saying, this is where many people put on the brakes. But that's the test that Saturn has for you right now. Are you going to live to your spiritual potential? Are you going to pass the test and move forward with every aspect of yourself being born in companion with those planets? Because those are all the personal planets. And some really magical shifts are coming up next month, and I can't wait to tell you about them. So be sure to boost the signal and tell all your friends and light those candles, because that's the one thing that I'm going to leave you with here is that how do you integrate this? If you're nervous, you're doing it right. Go ahead and do this tiny little ritual piece. Whether you choose to light a candle or incense or connect with a bowl of water or a cup of tea, write down one choice that you have been avoiding that you know leads you to your next highest self. Put that energy either into a candle, into incense, into your spoken word, or into water, running water, snow, whatever you want to do. Scoop up some water, scoop up things, do all the elements. But whichever one you choose to do, say it out loud, because that is magic and brings it into the 3D world. You write it down, you say it out loud. It's called spelling for a reason. And then within 48 hours, you take one practical, doable step in that direction. And that action, that seals the deal. Your mindset is shifted. You know you can take action. And whether it is downloading my free guide, joining the Zodiac Club for support, I'm asking you to put one foot in front of the other, and the universe isn't going to let you fall. The universe says, step onto this boat that we're all in together, and let's go forward on this adventure as a fellowship. So now that you know all about this new earth and the possibilities this new adventure will bring you, you might be wondering why in the world was Ophiuchus, this beautiful higher self healing energy, forbidden for so long? And where does it affect you house by house? Well, that's what's in this next video up here. So if you click on that link, it's way more powerful. And I've got you covered, okay? I've got you covered. I'm here for you.